You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion, delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof of your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest. Oh, wait. We can't use this one.
Can't use that.
Laurel's not here. We got it. So we'll just.
There you go. Welcome back.
Welcome back. Jim Norton is in the house. Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Glad to have you with us. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
Well, I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money. I personally work with you even if you don't have any needs today. Save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we are celebrating today. I don't understand this one. National Hospitalist Day. I mean, is that a patient? Is that a medical worker? Is that an administrator? What is a hospitalist? But I guess you got to have a day for everything.
It's like a trivia question.
Although it's like, there you go, it's a trivia question.
Trivia question.
Although if you're in Chicago, I guess one term you vote for the mayor because she's black and female, and the next time it's racist that you didn't vote for her because she's black and female. Well, that's a whole different story. Only in Chicago. Let's move on and see what else we can celebrate today. World Teen Mental Wellness Day. Only one day for that? Maybe we need more than one day for that. Well, thankfully, we've got Jim Norton with us because it is National Old Stuff Day. So we've got Jim here.
I'm your official old guy.
I don't know. I might fit into that one as well. So let's take a look. What up? National Read Across America Day. I can't read. So I tell people that, and some people look at me like, really, you're illiterate? Well, are you a good reader?
I like to read, but I just don't have the time to read because I have so much to read.
Okay.
There's so many reports and everything, but I love leisure reading. But
really,
yeah, I mean, like I'm a Tom Clancy fan all the way. I read everything he put out.
I think I get to the first page and fall asleep.
Well, that happens now too.
Audible.com, because I do like the information. It's just that, I'm old. I fall asleep as soon as I start reading. So audible.com, National Read Across America Day. And having beaten anorexia, National Banana Cream Pie Day. Yes, indeed. I think that's the one we've got to go with right there. And National Banana Cream Pie Day. I like that idea. So
who makes the best banana cream pie?
I go to Polly's.
Polly's? Okay.
I go to Polly. Polly's is for old people, so that's why I go there.
Well, but I'm just saying, there's not many places left that make banana cream pie.
No, what was the place over there on Harbor Boulevard, right down by Disneyland?
Belisle's?
Belisle's,
that was
it.
Strawberry.
Oh, Strawberry. Okay.
Yeah, okay. We just showed our age on that. Because everybody going, what the heck?
Yeah, what are these old guys talking about? Okay, Let's move right along and let's see what the markets are doing today. The Dow Jones Industrial Average up 97 points. The S&P 500 down 7. NASDAQ down 56. Oil down 40 cents a barrel. And the 10-year Treasury, wow, moving up 4.078. Think about this, 4.078. Would it surprise you that when the misleading jobs report came out about 3 weeks ago, that the 10-year Treasury was right around 3.3, 3.4, somewhere in that range? And now we're at 4.708. So what a difference a month makes, especially when you're dealing with people that cannot figure out what's going on in the marketplace. It just baffles me. So February 2nd, 3.398, call it 3.33, 3.4. We call that 3.4? And now we're over 4, so it's almost 70 basis points higher in a month. All because of a jobs report that had seasonal adjustments adding 3 million jobs on the BLS report and 810,000 jobs on the household survey. And then you get guys like Raphael Bostic and Neil Kashkari from the Federal Reserve saying, let's raise interest rates because we got such a good jobs report. Oh, as I've said many, many times.
Such an idiot.
Yeah, these guys,
Such
they just...
idiot. Such an
The
idiot.
problem is they've
Such
got
an idiot.
voting power. That's the problem. Yeah, they're idiots, but they've got voting power, so we get to suffer because these guys are idiots. Unbelievable. It's just watching these things. And the stock market knows this stuff. How do I know that the stock market knows this stuff? Well, when the reports first came out, the market went up. The market says, we got a strong economy. And then the truth came out when we started getting the earnings reports. And the earnings report says the economy is not doing so good. And the stock market started going down. And yes, we did see the stock market drop in the month of February for that month. So the market understands these things. Too bad some of these elected officials don't understand these issues. What did the stock market do that as measured by the Dow Jones? Well, let's not use the Dow Jones because that's for old people. So let's take a look and see what the S&P 500, what did that do for the last month? Should we look at the 1 month chart on that one there? So let's see. 1 month chart, it went from 41.79 and today we're at 39.42. So it's about a 5% drop 7% drop in the month. Think about that. So the stock market understands the economy is not doing real well. And remember, when you talk about the stock market, they use history. They use the earnings, and then they use the reports that come out of that, the meetings afterward, looking at the forward guidance, because the stock market is a forward-looking instrument. They're looking at what's going to happen in the next 6 to 12 months. Well, the market was down 7% in the month of February. What do you think the stock market feels for the strength of the economy? Not real pretty right there. But hey, speaking of not pretty, let's go ahead and take a look at gas prices right here in the formerly golden. $4.83 right now. We keep on going up. Did you see some of the oil companies starting to push back on the president's fantasies where they've got 9,000 leases and all this other garbage? Oil companies finally coming out and saying, hey, you know something? Yeah, maybe you have those leases, but we can't do anything with them. Or they're dry. Of course, then that's the president. What the heck? He still has trouble going up the stairs. I mean, he's the only one I know that can fall upstairs. Some people fall. Anybody can fall downstairs, but he falls going up. Nevada, $4.28 a gallon of gasoline. Josh, I guess you're trying to catch us. Jody's over there at $3.66. Brittany's at $4.02. And I don't even want to talk to Lori. She's at $3.05, our tremendous underwriter, Lori in Louisiana. $3.05 a gallon. I am planning on going to check and see. Hawaii's at $4.88.
What are we at?
$4.83.
So
Have you been to Hawaii lately?
Well, yeah, there's a lot of drilling going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of drilling.
Yeah,
a lot of
oil
refineries
drilling.
over there. Although
Sorry.
it's coffee and pineapple, I think is
Yeah,
what they're
pretty
drilling
much.
over there.
Pineapple gas. They're doing biodiesel.
Yeah, they're
No,
okay.
I mean, when we're that close to Hawaii with all the shipping costs and the complaints about shipping costs, something's really wrong.
Well, look at the bright side. Last year, this time, we were higher than Hawaii. So,
yeah.
And I look at the national average, $3.37 a gallon.
Does it have last year for California? What was March last?
Well, we can get that. So 337 is what we're paying right now on a national level. Last year, same time, was 366 a gallon. So we can look at you really want to know what California was last year at this time?
There's a point behind it, and that is you take interest rates and you push them up for your house payment.
Right.
Okay. So, but what if you're saving money because gas is affordable? But in this case, everything is being pushed up by supply and demand. I'm a supply and demand believer more than I'm an inflation believer. And so that just takes away from you being able to afford a house or afford remodel to your house, whatever you're doing.
Sure. It's your budget.
Your budget is getting cut into.
Well, I've got the number for you then.
Okay.
Last current price, California, $4.83 a gallon. Last year, this time, $4.86. So it's about 3 cents a gallon difference.
Yeah. So all we did was
Not
just
much.
ride a little wave and
Right.
up and
Yeah.
down.
Yeah,
nothing
little bit of a wave there, all to get nowhere.
Sort of like the stock market. You keep looking at, when you look at the stock market overall for the Dow,
Right.
it's 32, 33, 34, 32, 33. It's just hover. It just bounces around back and forth in there.
Kind of like me, just bouncing around all over the place. But let's take a look. So 32,743. And I think I could probably get us a 1-year chart right here real quick. Year to date. How about year to date? So we started the year on the Dow at 33,136, and now we're at 32,748.
Right.
So we're up about 1/4%.
Yeah.
Not very meaningful, right? It's pretty minimal right there. So yeah, exactly what you're saying, Jim, is it's no real changes there. If we look at it going back a year, we've got a 0.27 change for the last year on the Dow. So we've gone down significantly. We've gone up a little bit, and when it's all said and done, we've done nothing.
They make great news out of the Fed looking at all this stuff, and it's like you're not really doing anything. You're just jumping around, pushing it, trying to do something, but you're chasing the wrong tail here.
So as usual, the Fed has accomplished nothing, but they
said they have,
causing a lot of pain and grief, and people lose their jobs and nervousness, and the housing market is tumbling, and all these other things, all for the Fed to accomplish nothing. And as I said when we started,
such an idiot.
It's just, you got to wonder about these guys. I mean, the problem is they think they have to do something. Oh yeah. Don't talk.
Well, they are.
Sheep.
I mean, they are doing something. I mean, they're blocking the markets from expanding and doing what they can.
Blocking progress at the Federal Reserve. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, let's see. Equity gains for today's homeowners. We'll talk about it. How to find and vet a financial advisor. We'll chat about that one as well. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, it's 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
79% of all credit reports have errors that should be corrected through factual disputing. You could be saving thousands every year if your report was accurate. CreditSanitizer.com provides a free credit report audit when you furnish a specific $1 credit report. You can use this information to request corrections to your report and potentially save thousands of dollars. Get your free credit audit at CreditSanitizer.com. That's CreditSanitizer.com for a free credit report audit. CreditSanitizer.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Every day at this time, OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates, with consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. Where did the loans lock at yesterday? Let's take a look. The 30-year conformings, they were up at 6.723. Jumbos were up 6.786. FHA was up 6.557. USDA was up 6.585. That's for the rural areas, generally no down payment. And the best loan on the market, it was up as well. That would be the 30-year VA loan. You have to earn that one. You can't just apply. 6.375. If you are a veteran, think about this. I just gave you all of the different rates for different programs. And if you noticed, the best rate, even with it being up yesterday, was the VA loan. Best one on the market, no mortgage insurance. You don't have to worry about that. And sellers, if you have the conception that, or the belief that there's extra expenses that are involved in a VA loan, you're wrong.
Got the wrong
There,
agent.
there are, yeah, you got the wrong agent.
You got the wrong agent.
The VA loan is actually one of the biggest benefits of the VA loan, and it's in no other loan product that I know of. None. Is if the appraiser cannot get value from if they can't find values to substantiate the contract price, they have to, by rule, get a hold of the agents and the loan officer and say, hey, can't get this. It's called Tidewater. I'm not finding the values that you want. Can you help me? And they have to give the agents, buyers and sellers, and the lending loan officer 48 hours to help. If they still cannot find the value, then the loan officer can go to the VA and say and present the case to the VA. Hey, we have 5 offers on this property. Here are the offers, and we took the offer that's right here. Take a look at this. The value is there, and then the VA can actually override the appraiser. There's no other loan product that I know of that can happen on. So the VA loan is actually the best loan on the market for those that earned it. Thank you to all of our men and women who have served or are serving. There is a great, great program for you. But let's take a look. Yes, the 10-year Treasury is up 9 basis points. The S&P 500 is down 7.06 right now. Mortgage-backed securities are down 34 basis points. That means interest rates are up. And why is this happening? Well, a lot of it has to do with Kashkari and Bostic, those idiots thinking that we have to increase interest rates dramatically in order to keep things going. The bond market having another tough day. So waiting for favorable news to turn the tide between the lag and shelter costs for inflation and jobs data. Outlook is brighter, but the waiting is the hardest part. The market turned sharply since the jobs report with the 10-year up 75 basis points over the 4-week period. Pressuring bonds yesterday was the ISM manufacturing data, which the market was in contraction, getting smaller, shrinking, recession, 3rd month in a row. The prices paid component did move up and showed another headwind for inflation. Additionally, inflation data out of the Eurozone came in hotter than expectations, pressuring global bond yields. Lastly, following the strong jobs report, which was skewed, Fed Presidents Bostic and Kashkari.
Such an idiot.
Yeah, they spoke yesterday and expressed their concern on the strong jobs market and inflation. They want to see more rate hikes and for the Fed not to cut rates until 2024. Hawkish tone has weighed on the markets. While the markets are reacting to the jobs report, if we look more real-time indicators from online job posting sites and recruiters, we see a different story. Jolts, Indeed, Link Up, and ZipRecruiter all showing job postings declining. Following the jobs report, these companies saw a spike in their stock price as it was assumed they would benefit from the strong labor market, but after their earnings calls showing weakness and their expectations for a weaker job market, reality set in. Stock prices not only moved lower, but much lower than they were before the jobs report. So we're going to get some of this information next week. Wednesday, we get the ADP report. I think that's a report that people should pay attention to, but who am I? I'm just a guy that does a little radio. They only use 25 million records to come up with their findings. The BLS and the household survey, they do modeling, so they're not looking at real-time data. They're interpreting data, and that's why they have such big swings this last report, when on Wednesday, right before those guys came out with his blowout numbers, ADP said like 100-some thousand jobs added, which was more in line with reality. So that is the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial when you're ready for that next home loan. Geneva got the programs, the products. You just need to call 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Jim Norton with us this morning, Realty Pro 100. Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Out on the streets. You're I sit here inside and I talk to a lot of folks every day, talk on radio every morning, but you're on the street.
Talking
right?
talking to the people around.
Talking to the people.
It's interesting. I tell you, the market. I'm a believer. I'm not saying it's a bull market, but I'm not saying it's a crashing market. There's sales going around. I mean, if you just look around your neighborhood, you're going to find maybe there's 3 or 4 listings where there was 8 or 9, but you're going to find that they're selling. They're still moving. Takes a little bit more time because fewer buyers and qualifications. But I think they're starting to realize the buyers are starting to realize that regardless of what the price is, here's what I can pay for this house. Here's what I think the value is. And can we come to an agreement, make a deal? I think they're making offers out there.
Well, we look at your neighborhood where you're working, Placentia,
Mm-hmm.
and Placentia, California. It's North Orange County for those of you that are not familiar with it. A pleasant place. And apparently it must be very pleasant because nobody wants to leave. So I'm looking at single family residences for sale as of this morning. There are 27.
Yeah.
And when we look
half
at
of last year,
condos, 13.
Unfortunately, there's not a lot of condos in Placentia. There's not a lot of condos available anywhere. I mean, as a former builder, that's always one of my buzz points. They always talk about increasing the housing, but what they did is they took away that condo, the townhome, the small single family, then the large single family, and there used to be that move up market. I used to, you'd buy your condo when you're in your 20s, you'd sell it by the time you're 30, and you'd move up, and sometimes you'd keep it. Sometimes
We call that part of the 6 Ds.
Yeah.
Diplomas, diamonds.
I can't remember it.
Diplomas, diamonds, diapers, and then you go to the downside: divorce, death, and defaults. Right, so you got this mountain there. So,
but
the diplomas get you that 2 bedroom.
There used to be product available in the mountain, and now I haven't seen a good condo or townhome project go up in a long time without it being in, let's say, Irvine, where you have a land situation. But it used to be that that's what the small builder built. He built that infill for that purpose, that entry level. Now we go right to $1 million house. It's like, I don't know how they're getting in. From that standpoint.
In Orange County, California, you don't even need to down. You can do an FHA loan, and actually you can do it with no down payment if you get the down payment assistance.
Right.
So you can buy $1 million home as long as you can make the payments.
Yeah.
Right. Qualify for the payments, and that's gotten easier now that we've got a change in the FHA guidelines also.
Yeah.
So you've got the lower mortgage insurance premium, so that's kind of helped as well. So you're able to. So as you can see, Placentia might be a great place to live, but right now there must be some interesting folks in Placentia. And the reason I say interesting is I'm looking at stats right now, and we get the stats on a daily basis from our friends over at Altos Research. They track every single home for sale in America every day. And I'm looking at Placentia with their whopping 27 homes available for sale. The average days on the market is 101.
I would agree.
So it probably says that
I use 90 days as the ticker right now, but so 101, that's pretty good.
So, but 101 to a numbers guy like me, when there's no inventory, basically says those are people that have probably priced their properties not to sell.
Exactly. There's a key in that. Again, remember the medium home price is not half of low, half of that. It's how many houses are sold. It's a formula.
Right.
It's just not a straight number. So at 101, I'm sure there was some that were sold in 10 days, and then there's some that are sold in 123 days. I saw one the other day. I was wondering, I don't know what's wrong with this particular house. It's a very sizable 2,000 square foot approximate 1 story in a great neighborhood, but it's been on the market 238 days. So that is either overpriced or there's something physically
You're allowed to
detrimental
see
the
that
house.
on the
But
5th
230
Wednesday of
days.
February. That's when you're allowed to see it.
That's when you're allowed to see it.
So that's why you.
But
that's-
as far as I'm aware, I think it's empty. But it's strange, because something, you don't just see anything at the
Right.
200 mark today
Why is
unless something's really
yeah? The
wrong
question
with
is
that
why
house.
is now. I guess not far from me. I don't live there, but not far from me, there are a couple of properties that are stay in that range. But one's 4.8 million, the other's 5.5 million. So there's those are anomalies.
Anomalies because you're in the fours. But
Right.
there was a townhome in Anaheim Hills that was listed from Realty Pro 100. One of the agents had it. 5 offers in the first open house, and I think 6 days on the market.
Nice.
And
I guess
so,
you got to call your office.
either that
then.
was just properly priced, or that'll just tell you that there is still demand out there for the right type
or
of
it
product.
could have been a pocket listing. We'll talk about that when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio.
It was on MLS.
Well, of course it
we
was.
don't do pocket listings.
No, nobody does that anymore.
Nobody does that.
Although we did have some agents in just recently that told us, well, they do have a system for that. But in any event, you're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, equity gains for today's homeowners, how to find and vet a financial advisor, and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, it's 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Is your budget getting blown up with high prices of gas and increased costs for other household needs? This is Ron Siegel, host of the daily home and finance radio program. Did you know if you have a low interest rate mortgage along with auto debt, credit card debt, or student loans, your family could potentially save $500 or more per month by restructuring these debts? If you'd like a free Borrow Smart analysis with our team, let's book an appointment to see how we might be able to relieve some stress. Schedule your appointment at rsrbsa.com. That's rsrbsa.com for your free Borrow Smart analysis. rsrbsa.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Visit rsrhomescout.com, rsrhomescout.com. Equity gains for today's homeowners. Today's homeowners are sitting on significant equity, even as home price appreciation has eased recently. If you're a homeowner, your net worth got a boost over the past few years thanks to rising home prices. Here's what it means for you, even as the markets moderate. How equity has grown in the recent years because of the imbalance between how many homes were for sale and the number of home buyers in the market over the past few years. Home prices appreciated substantially. And while price appreciation has slowed this year, that does not mean you've lost all the equity in your home. In fact, the latest Homeowner Equity Insights report from CoreLogic finds the average homeowner's equity has grown by national number $34,300 over the past year alone. And if you've been in your home longer than that, chances are you have even more equity than you realize. Well, that's the national number. If you want to know what happened in your area, we've got a map from the Federal Housing Finance Agency, and it shows how, on average, how much home prices have risen over the past 5 years, which has been a major driver behind equity growth. And as always, if you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials, or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 video feed, you're actually seeing a chart of this. Now, would it surprise you over the last 5 years, going up through the fourth quarter of 2022, California is up 50.1%. 50%. Take some of that money. National average is 58.4. Take some of that money out and go buy another property. Why this is so important right now, while equity helps increase your overall net worth, it can also help you achieve other goals like buying your next home. When you sell your current house, the equity you've built up comes back to you in the sale, and it may be just what you need to cover a large portion, if not all, of the down payment on your next home. So if you've been holding off on selling, it may be time to find out how much equity you have and how it can help fuel your next move. Bottom line, home ownership is a long game. And if you're planning to make a move, the equity you've gained over time can make a big impact. Find out just how much equity you have in your current home. rsrhomescout.com, rsrhomescout.com. Take a look. It'll show it right there on the fourth button over. Not only do we give you accurate information, we tell you what Zillow has to say too. So rsrhomescout.com, it is a great tool. And if you have any friends, family, or coworkers looking to buy, sell, or borrow on real estate, give them my number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Again, that's the Real-Time Real Estate segment brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Visit rsrhomescout.com, rsrhomescout.com. Chatting this morning, Jim Norton is in the house. He's from Realty Pro 100, and we're chatting Jim comes in and you know, it's fun because he and I go back and forth on a lot of different topics, and he's old. Kind of like me.
We can't stay on we can't stay on one topic.
No, that's right. Our attention span's very short.
We forgot. Yeah, we forgot what we were
talking about.
But hey, I'll bring something up. That Home Scout program is an excellent program. I was in there the other day looking in Colorado for a client, and it's really a solid program for and easy to use.
Yeah, that's the whole idea.
Very easy to use. I was looking up in Durango.
Okay, and the beauty is that you're a real estate professional in Southern California.
A lot of these things, yeah.
No, but you're in Southern California, and you're a active member in the local multiple listing service and the boards, and they give you a limited area.
Right.
I mean, you have probably most of Southern California.
Right. They're whatever they're attached to, but that doesn't give me access to
Durango, Colorado.
Right. Let's just use that. That's a good example.
Yeah.
And you can quickly see, but you also don't have the algorithm problem of the others,
right? Where
you're trying to figure out, okay, what are you giving me? Do you have access to everything?
You have a vested interest in what you're showing me.
Exactly.
Who's paying you for to show that to me?
And
who's
so
paying for the advertising? There's no advertising obligation.
Home Scout, you get a great quick snapshot, see what's going on, and you can see what's available, and then you can start digging in from there.
And you got about 97% of the homes in America are reflected in there one way or another.
Yeah, it's amazing. That's actually, if we're bouncing around topics, the topic of people doing a lot of research by themselves. And then it's like, okay, they'll call. I'll get some people to call up and said, hey, we're thinking of selling and we're thinking of moving to here. Have you started looking? I said, yeah, I looked at it. And I had one where they looked at some property and everything, and they're looking at it was vacant property.
Okay.
And I said, well, let me look into it for you and see what's going on, because a couple of things just didn't sound right to me. And so I look into it and find out.
And you would know those things because you're a builder.
Exactly. And then so you're listening to this, and then you look into it and you find out, oh, there's no water, there's no sewer, there's no power.
Detail. Kind of like going to Big Bear right now.
Exactly. But it's like there are lots that somebody mapped 20, 30, 45 years ago, whatever, but there's no utilities to it. And so you can't, it makes it look, it looks like when you first see it, it looks like there's something there, and wow, this is great. I just found a bargain. It's like, no, you didn't find a bargain.
So here's the question though, because I get to play the ignorant one here.
Sure.
When you buy raw land, does it usually have utilities coming to it?
It can and cannot.
Okay.
It can even have. Try this one. I got a call from an older couple. They had inherited a piece of land up in what is called Acton. Okay, or Lake Los Angeles, which is basically the between Palmdale and Victorville. It's the upper desert. And I said, well, what can we, can we sell this? What can you do? And I said, well, within 5 minutes, it was very obvious. It's like, okay, wait a minute. You have 4 parcels on every side had a parcel, and you're in the middle. You're the hole in the donut. Can you get out of the donut? They didn't have ingress and egress rights, and it didn't take more than 10 minutes to come to that conclusion. So you have a property that you've inherited, and the reason you inherited it because in all these years nobody could do anything because you had no easement access. I said,
I just heard about one of those. You'll laugh about this.
and actually, go ahead.
This is in Laguna.
In
Laguna Beach.
I was just gonna say, I actually, one of the first times I ran across one of these problems like this was actually in Tustin in the 80s, and a guy came to me and he wanted to do some develop it and hook up with a builder type of thing, and
this is already built.
and he was landlocked, and
it's like a $25 million house in Laguna, and they had great relationships with neighbors for years and years, and then the person passed and it went to a corporation,
right?
And the corporation was very unfriendly to the neighbors, and the neighbor said, "Fine, we're not going to give you any access on our no access to our property."
Right.
So you've got this $25 million property that's sitting up on top of a hill that's worthless because nobody can get to it.
Right.
And the owners have all got together and say, we're not going to sell them any access because they're being such jerks to all of us. Yeah. They're not good neighbors.
And there was never any development on it, so you never really got any grandfather clause to
it,
or any grandfathered rights or anything. So yeah, all of a sudden you're locked out, and it's amazing how much property is out there that way.
So moral of the story is be nice to your neighbors.
Yeah, be nice to your neighbors.
Yeah, you don't
moral of the story, do your homework.
Yeah, that too.
I mean, it really, especially if you're going out and thinking of buying, building out in the Inland Empire, great places to build. But a lot of people think, oh, there's a 5-acre parcel. It's got a view. I could do a little vineyard like Temecula or something. And then you find out, well, you don't have any water.
I think you need water for a vineyard.
You kind of need your water for the vineyards. And California is not the greatest well drilling state. It's not like Florida where you kick a boulder and water comes up.
It may not work that way.
No, it doesn't. So it's rather interesting. Rather interesting that all this stuff still exists.
When we come back, Jim, I want to talk to you about go back to the real-time real estate segment that we talked about the equity gains and what we can do with that kind of money. A 50% appreciation over the last 5 years.
That's a lot of. I mean, what did we?
Let's talk about that when we come back.
All right.
You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing real estate, current events, and the financial markets. How to find and vet a financial advisor. We'll talk about that as well. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We will be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Your Credit Matters segment today being brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have a credit report. It is wrong. What are you doing about it? Credit Sanitizer has the solution for you. How to find and vet a financial advisor. Hiring a financial advisor can seem like an extravagant investment that's only available to the rich. but many people can benefit from and afford professional advice. Whether you're looking for a plan that you'll implement on your own or want to outsource your money management, financial advisors can offer a range of services. However, you want to make sure you hire someone who has knowledge that matches your needs. And of course, you want to make sure you're not overpaying. Follow these 5 steps, and you can feel confident that you're making an informed decision. Have a specific goal in mind. Your first step is to figure out exactly what you want so you can find someone with experience and credentials that align with your goal. People might want to work with a financial advisor when they are struggling to create or stick to a budget, creating or revising an estate plan, hoping to save money by making their finances more tax efficient, uncertain about how to manage a financial windfall or increased income, trying to figure out where to invest or whether they have a good portfolio, looking for help with a large goal such as buying a home or saving for a college fund, thinking about retirement planning, either focused or saving for retirement, or managing finances as you approach and enter retirement. Financial advisors may specialize in a particular area, such as investment advice or estate planning. They may also further specialize in helping a specific type of client, including young professionals, families, immigrants, retirees, or a cross-section of different groups. You've heard me talk about Todd Halterman coming on the program a lot. We're going to be doing a lunch and learn specifically for those who have highly appreciated assets and don't want a tax liability when they sell them. We're going to do that March 31st. If you have an interest, give me a call. We'll see if we can connect you. Learn a few key terms. The financial planning world is filled with different credentials, names, and acronyms. It can all get confusing quickly, and there's a lot to learn. But you can start here. Financial planners versus advisors. Neither name has one official definition, but financial planners tend to focus on holistic financial planning and management. A financial advisor may focus more narrowly on investment strategies and advice. However, people may use the terms interchangeably, and it's best to ask the firm or professionals you reach out to about their approach. There is a difference between a financial planner and a certified financial planner. A fiduciary. It's a person or organization that manages your money and has a legal responsibility to act in your best interest. For example, they cannot suggest you make a subpar investment because they earn a commission. Most financial advisors are fiduciaries, but it's best to ask. Robo-advisors, automated platforms that invest and manage your money with a less personal touch and lower fees than traditional, like they're not human advisors. These can be an affordable option if you're looking for someone to manage your investments. There are also hybrid platforms that may cost a little more, but also give you access to live advisors. Assets under management. Financial advisors' assets under management, how much client money the advisor manages. You don't have to let an advisor manage all your money, but some advisors have a minimum required assets under management. You can also ask them, what is their total assets under management? So you know, are you the biggest fish in their pond, the littlest fish in their pond? I tell you that I have $254 million worth of liabilities under management. No, my wife didn't spend that much. You'll undoubtedly come across other terms that you don't know in your search for an advisor. There are many educational resources online, but you can also ask advisors questions during an initial consultation. How does their fee structure work? Are they commission only? Are they fee only? Are they fee-based? Many advisors are moving toward the fee-based and fee-only models. Experts often suggest looking for a fee-only advisor to avoid potential conflicts of interest. And again, give me a call at 800-306-1990. I am happy to put you in touch with any kind of financial advisors. I know a lot of them. That is the Your Credit Matters segment brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. You have a credit report. It is wrong. What are you doing about it? Credit Sanitizer has these solutions for you. Continue our conversation. Jim Norton is in the house. We are chatting with him. Realty Pro 100 investor, former builder. I don't know, all those, and a papa, right? So, and the reason I bring up the papa idea is that means he's old, and you know you've got young people in your life that maybe starting year 2 down the road, 3, 4, buy housing, buy real estate.
Hope so.
Right, hope so. In fact, we've got a young lady coming on the broad. You'll love this one, Jim. We've got a young lady coming on the broadcast in the next couple of weeks, and she's got 2 young children. I think they're 2 and 4, something like that. And her goal is to buy a rental property for each of them. She already has one, so that they've got their college.
Right.
Their college is covered. Their retirement is covered.
Right.
right? Weddings, maybe they're covered. But what I wanted to get to is we talked in the real-time real estate segment, in the last segment, about properties having 50% equity or 50% appreciation in the last 5 years.
And as Blake has mentioned before, what did he say? There's about $1 trillion worth of equity sitting over Orange County, under Orange County.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
That's a lot of money.
No, so let's just say we're at a median home price, and we're just going to call it $1 million. I know it's a little bit more than that.
Exactly.
And that is appreciated 50% in the last 5 years. So let's say someone just bought it 5 years ago for $500,000, and now it's $1 million.
Mhm.
So they've got $500,000 in equity right there. And access that equity. But here's the concern.
Right.
5 years ago, they were probably had a 3.5% interest rate. Why would they want to refinance that to get the equity out?
That's the $1 million question.
How do you access? So there's two different ways that I know of. Maybe you know more. I'll share mine then.
Okay.
So one of them is if you're old, over 55, you can get a home equity line of credit, a HELOC, reverse mortgage.
Yeah.
So that way you don't have any extra payments, but you can get a reverse mortgage HELOC. There are qualifications for it, but that's one of the ways. Yeah. Or you can go right now and get and it's more expensive. You can get a traditional home equity line of credit. You could probably get, you could probably liberate about $400,000 of your cash.
Mm-hmm.
Now the HELOC we know is expensive.
Right.
You got 7.75, I think is what prime is right now. HELOCs are usually 2 to 3 points above that. So you're right around 10% on that HELOC. But recessions, we know interest rates go down historically. Right. So you may not want to get rid of that 3.5 today, but maybe a year from now, maybe you want to refinance your HELOC into that 3.5 and you're in good shape.
Right. We talked about this before. You could do HELOC, you could do refi, but you got to do the numbers. I mean, if you're at 3.5 and you've got $500,000 in equity, and that's appreciation equity. That's not equity that you have created from paying down the loan,
or your down payment,
or for your down payment. Exactly. Thank you. And so this is appreciation equity. So if you're trying to tap into it, you got to look at your blended credit, your blended mortgage rate for your household. You might find that, wait a minute, I have 3.5, but I'm paying on my credit cards, I'm paying on my car. If I blend all this out and I pay all that off, plus take $250,000 of cash out, and I go up to 6.7, you might be at the same spot you already are. And if you're already there, now you got $250,000 to go buy something with.
Right.
And that's
not
what
a
you got to
boat,
look
not
at.
a car.
This is not a boat, not a car, something that's going a
appreciable
tangible asset. Exactly. Yeah. And so you've got to look at the whole picture. You can't just sit there and say, somebody can't just sit there and say, oh, 3.5, 4%, or 3.5 to 7. That's double the payment. It's not double the payment. It depends on how much time. It also depends on your age. I have a rental that I want to, and I'm going to get the feedback from you on this one. I keep wanting to move it to a 15-year. And but the point being is it's got about 15 years left. And but now it's too late because I didn't move it when I could have done the 15-year at about 3.5. And so, but
never ever do a 15-year.
Of course, you're going to turn around and tell me just double your payment. And
why?
And then just pay it down. But yeah, you're right.
Put the money in. You could get 5% right now in a 1-year treasury.
Right, but this was then. This is not now. I haven't since it went up. I dropped the 15-year idea. I know you hate the 15-year loan. I
even had a gentleman the other day that I was consulting with, and I know we're out of time, Josh, but I want to get this real quick. He's got a 2.25% first mortgage. And he's paying extra on the first mortgage, but he's got credit card debt, he's got solar debt, he's got a truck, and he's got a car. I'm saying don't pay the money on the 2.25, pay it on the 20 or the 25% items, right? Pay the higher debt, get rid of that higher debt. It's much better for you.
They say you got to look at your whole household and see where you are as far as your debt. And again, back to your comments earlier with the certified financial planners. Where's your team doing? I mean, have you got together with your team at the beginning of the year? Get together with your realtor, your lawyer, your
mortgage
guy, your
debt manager.
Of course, your accountant, because it's tax season. But all these people are relatively they're totally available and relatively inexpensive. I mean, we're not talking about having an accountant that's there every day of the week, every phone call, but to help you with your taxes and guide you through. It's a lot better than just. I mean, TurboTax is a great product, but at the same time, TurboTax doesn't tax plan.
Right.
It does your taxes.
Exactly. It reports. It doesn't plan.
Right. So
great information. I appreciate you bringing that up, because that is good information. As always, though, we ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean who are engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or meet any of our guests, call me anytime. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.
My boss just pushed me over the limit. I'd like to call him something,